Invisible? Not me. Fuck that noise. My destiny was to be seen, heard, and felt. I can honestly say I've accomplished my mission, and I'm still not done. Invisibility simply has never been in my DNA. In the street game, you can do 3 things by the age of 25. You can step your game up and become a gangster by making serious money and owning homes and businesses, become a grown man and get your ass a job, or continue gangbanging, taking risks of going back and forth to state prison and ending up in the grave. I chose the first, and with the help of a few trusted advisors, I took my street game to new heights. In my Southside Crip neighborhood, I was known by several names. Big Dog, Big Homie, some call me Gotti, but most knew me as Kefidi in terms of rank. If we were an army, I was a 5-star general. If we were a city, I was the mayor, and if we were a country, I was President Obama. As Big Homie, I gave folks in my neighborhood jobs and an opportunity to earn money. I'm not talking about small amounts of money either. Folks earned enough to feed their families. They all had a couple of nice cars, trucks, and lowriders. We even started a lowrider club and a hydraulic company for lowriders. Just like in any other type of economy, everybody had a role to play. Like any good leader of an organization, I had my board of directors, the older trusted right-hand men that would advise me. I had one older gentleman named RC who was super rich. He was 72 years old when he married this broad that was 28 years old. One day RC came to me and said, "I'm going through this divorce and all my shit is tied up. I need some bread. I need to borrow $70,000 from you if that's cool." "No problem, dog. Get at me later on tonight up by my spot." RC showed up and I hit him with the $70,000. "I'll pay you back in a few months." Honestly, I had forgotten about the money then, 44. About 6 months later, RC showed up and said, "I sincerely appreciate everything you did for me. Come, let's go for a ride." He took me and signed 6 pieces of property over to me. 2 of them were triplexes and the other 4 were duplexes. All of them he owned, free and clear. All I had to do was pay the yearly property taxes on them. Soon after that, he moved to Houston, Texas, and 2 years later, he suffered a massive heart attack at a Hardee's restaurant and passed away. After he died, his daughter sued me for the houses in the courts, took the houses from me. Chief among my advisors was my beloved friend and partner FL. He was a real high-level, white-collar hustler, about 10 years older than me. FL and I first met when I was a little kid, and he was kicking it with one of my homegirls. FL used to come through the neighborhood to visit her in service. Brand new pussy pink 76. Said 12 years, Cadillac Seville. That bitch old I showed up. 2 was as a motherfucker. Pop Warner. Pretty football. I'll never forget the day FL practice driving jumped into his girlfriend's car, a brand new, to run errands with her in Seville. Left me the keys to his new ride so I could go to football practice. At 12 years old, I showed up to Pop Warner football practice driving a brand new Seville. Shuj Knight's daddy, we called him. Big Shuj was like, "Damn, where you get that from?" I had a smile on my face a mile wide. FL was my dog for a long time. He's the one that hooked me up with my Colombian cocaine connection. Boss Man was my first plug before I established a direct relationship with my Colombian plug. Boss Man's aunt and cousins are from my neighborhood, and his first cousin is my first cousin. Our 2 families go all the way back to Texas in the 1930s. My aunt has babies by his uncle, so we're practically cousins. He's a year older than me. The 2 of us played together since we were 3 or 4 years old. Boss Man was the first significant supplier that allowed me to get on the map. He would give me 20 kilos birds a week. VVV in 1989, when I got out of Tracy for my first stint in the Navy. Pen, Boss Man rolled up. "Hey dog, glad to see you're home. I don't have any work for you right now, but don't trip, I got you." He handed me a bag that contained $10,000 in cash. About 3 weeks later, I was at C. Ray's house, and Boss Man pulled up wearing a suit in a brand new Mercedes-Benz. "Hey dog, come here." I walked up to his ride. "I have some rims in the backyard I need you to wash for me." I went to his auntie's backyard to wash. 46, the rims. Just as I was about to start, he came to the backyard and said, "Pull them out to the front and wash them out there." I'm not sure why he wanted me to wash the rims out front, but it didn't bother me any. While I was washing the rims, one of the homies shouted, "I know that ain't KFD down there washing no motherfucking rims." Before I could yell back, a gray pickup truck pulled up in front of the house. Boss Man came out of the house and greeted the driver. Then he turned to me and said, "Hey dog, throw those rims on the back of this truck." I lifted the rims and placed them on the back of the truck. Boss Man came to the back of the truck and explained, "We're big out here now, dog. We got some new shit called blow up. That's when you cut the cocaine to make 2 kilos out of one. And birds don't cost $70,000 anymore. They're down to $14,000. I couldn't believe what he was telling me. He continued, "You see that brown bag in the back of the truck? Grab that, it's yours. Call me when you finish." I opened the bag and there were 3 kilos inside. In the early 80s, the Peruvians and Belizeans were sending most of the dope to the United States. Once the Colombians took over the drug business, the price of cocaine went down to $14,000 a kilo. Armed with new information and the 3 kilos Boss Man gave me, I started rolling all over again. 47, I called my boy C. Ray, who was staying in Birmingham, Alabama at the time, and let him know I was back in business. "Send me half a kilo out here, dog," he requested. I sent him the half kilo. A few days later, when I tried calling him, the nigga stopped answering my calls. I knew this chick named Felicia who was from Alabama, so I asked her to take a trip out there with me. We flew to Alabama and called him from a local Alabama number, and the nigga answered the phone on the first ring. "Nigga, I'm at the airport, come and get me." C-Ray came and picked me up, but the nigga didn't have any gas in the car. We were riding on fumes. He appeared to me like he was smoked out. "C-Ray, man, you're tripping. We rented a 3-story house with a pool in the backyard and a basement for $250 per month to set up shop. In places like Alabama, a cellar is mandatory because the tornadoes will wipe your ass out. Back then, that same house in LA would have cost at least $2,000 per month. I took my kilos down to Birmingham, where we were selling 9 ounces for $12,000. I took 1 kilo and turned it into 3, then turned 3 into 9, then turned the 9 into 18 kilos. We were out there in Alabama, balling for about a year and a half. One day when I was back in Compton, boss man pulled up to one of my spots. "Hey dog, I need you. 48, to cook some water, angel dust for me." Cooking PCP is a skill a minimal number of people have. It's super dangerous, and if you don't know what you're doing, it can explode like dynamite. It's a skill I learned during my stay in Watts after my mother passed away. I stayed in the Jordan Downs projects, Grape Street, with some family members for about a year and a half and returned to Compton with a lot of game. Specifically, I learned how to cook up PCP. People on the East Coast don't know how to cook PCP. Cooking PCP is one of those ancient hood secrets that only niggas from Compton. Cooking PCP is one of those ancient hood secrets that only niggas from Compton and Watts know how to do. And Watts know how to do. I went over to boss man's location and cooked some PCP for him. He gave me an ounce when I was done. I started rolling again, opened up 3 or 4 crack houses, and boss man started giving me 100 grams every day for $7,000. I was rolling like a motherfucker. About 3 weeks after that, boss man got locked up in the summer of 1990s. Not long after boss man got taken down, I met my Colombian plug and started dancing with the devil. Me and my good brother FL dancing with